All right, the vice president has said he's not going to do anything with the 25th Amendment tonight. So why does this proceeding continue? And what are we teeing up for tomorrow?
Well, so you ask a great question. I think it was one many of us asked, because once the vice president came out and said he was not going to respond in the way that the Democrats wanted, why continue with the charade? But the reality is this had nothing to do with anything more than putting gas on the fire. And that's really the unfortunate thing here, as the impeachment is going to be tomorrow as well. So you have, by the end of tomorrow, you'll have 7 days to go before President-elect Biden takes office with his new administration. President Trump said he's going to leave peacefully. You're going to have a transition of power that's peaceful. Why do this? And they could never really say why. They just don't want him there for one more minute. And then tomorrow what's going to happen is we'll start off the day with a short debate on the rule, and then we're going to get into the impeachment process itself. It'll be a truncated impeachment process. It's not going to go through committee like it normally would. You're not going to have a couple of votes like you normally would. And we don't even know how long the debate's going to be. They haven't even told us that yet. So it's going to be very swift. They're going to have the votes because the Democrats have the majority. And that's what's going to happen. The president's going to get impeached tomorrow.
Well, and Congressman, there are Republicans who are now openly saying they're going to join in the impeachment vote as well. Many in the House. We're starting to hear bubblings over in the Senate as well. Congresswoman Liz Cheney, she's the #3 Republican in the House, says the president could have immediately and forcefully intervened to stop the violence. He did not. There's never been a greater portrayal by a president of the United States of his office and his oath to the Constitution. She's going to be a yes vote on impeachment. So how do you respond to that?
Well, I've called for her resignation. I don't think she should be the chair of the Republican conference anymore. The reality is she's not representing the conference. She's not representing the Republican ideals. And I think that that's a problem, and she should not be our conference chair anymore. And I'm not alone in that sentiment. And I think in the days to come, you're going to see a tremendous groundswell of people who view what she said and what she's going to do with disapprobation. Now, if she wasn't the conference chair, I think many of us would be unhappy with our colleagues, but we understand that they're going to make that vote based on who they are. But in this instance, she is the conference chair. I think they should be actually whipping against an impeachment vote, but they're not going to do that. And she's out there advocating for others to join her in the impeachment. That is wrong, and I think she should resign.
Okay, and it looks like the call for the 25th Amendment to be activated by the vice president has passed the House, yes, although he's already said he's not going to do anything with that. So we proceed on to impeachment. Our Mike Emanuel has been reporting on Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's frustration and anger with the president over partially what happened last week and among other things. Mike tells us in his reporting that McConnell has shared with associates that impeachment will help rid the party of Trump and his movement. It might encourage the party to swing back to more establishment groups. How do you answer that? Even if the president is impeached, if they go through with a Senate trial, if they then go after that and take the next step of voting to ban him forever running for office again, do you think the movement that he put together should be shunned from the GOP party? I mean, what do you make of those kinds of statements?
Well, I hope he doesn't really feel that way, and because I disagree totally with that statement. I think that the Make America Great Again movement is alive and well. We saw that in the number of House seats that were won. We saw that in state and local government races that were held up and down these tickets. We just saw at the top of the ticket with President Trump, there was a problem. And so I think that the movement is going to be strong. I mean, it's everything from no more wars, it's for a robust economy, fewer taxes, it's for protecting our border. All the things that President Trump was able to do facing the winds of the left-stream media, as well as some of our colleagues within our own conference, as well as the Democrats. He was able to get a lot of things done that the base loves and wants, and I think it's going to continue. And I think that this notion that if you cut off the head, the rest of the body is going to die in this case is utterly false, and I think the movement will stay strong, and we're going to keep moving forward in a progressive way, the way conservatives view progression.
Well, 74 million plus or minus folks felt their desire was to cast the vote for him and his policies. So those folks have to go somewhere, and we'll see how this party, now your party, comes together in figuring that out.
Right.
Congressman Biggs, thanks so much.
Thank you, Shannon.